Hi, my name is Cindy, and I'm going to show you 5 items. Each one is less than $5 and super easy to make. DIY number 1, a fall floral pumpkin. The supplies needed include a box that's about 4 by 4 inches, napkin, Mod Podge, a knob, some fall leaves and dried flowers, and some hot glue. And lastly, you will need to paint it white with some acrylic paint, or you can use plaster, anything that's light. So the box is 4 by 4 inches and has an opening in the back. Therefore, you can house something else in the back if you choose. I didn't at this time, but you might find the same box in reverse and there will be something else. So we'll see. I painted the box in the color plaster, but like I said before, you can paint it white or any other light color. I painted the front, the side, the bottom, and let it dry. Then I chose a napkin that had some flowers on it and pumpkins in the front and removed the second ply. Now I chose something that had pumpkins on it and that had a border, and that was kind of light and airy. I had to decide which part of the napkin I wanted to use, and so that is why I chose the blue trim on the bottom with the pumpkins. Next, I used a small bit of Mod Podge and applied it to the front and then the sides, and lastly the top. You want to see the napkin on the side, so this is kind of what you would call a wraparound. I wanted to use something different on the top to depict the pumpkin stem. And I looked in my stash and I had a knob. And I hot glued it to the top and added some leaves and that were green and one orange leaf so that you know that, fall is on the way. And I followed it by some small dried florals. I think it looks nice and it would look good on a shelf or on a tiered tray. Let me know what you think about this one. I would say the cost of everything in the knob probably be the most expensive, would be $2.50. This is a 5 under 5 challenge brought to us by our hosts Crafty Cove DIY and Farm Charm Chic. This week our guest host is Faith Chick 777's DIYs by Design. These women are awesome crafters, so be sure to follow, like, save, and comment on their channels. The link to their channels is listed in the description box below. Other crafters are in this collaboration making fall florals, so be sure to follow, like, save, and comment on their channels. The link to the playlist is in the description box below. DIY number 2, a reversible wooden floral gift tag, or doesn't have to be on a gift, it can just be a tag. The supplies needed include a wooden gift tag, fall napkin with flowers, faux flowers, Mod Podge, white acrylic paint, jute, half of a foam lemon, leaves, beads, sunflower, and yellow ribbon. Now on one side of the tag is an end of summer look and the other side a fall look. And as you know by now, I like to have the tags to be, multi-use. So the tag was painted white on both sides and a napkin with lemons was applied with Mod Podge. And the excess was burned off with a match. So this is not for children. However, you can sand it off. That's another option. I cut a faux lemon in half to avoid bulk, and 2 leaves and 2 small white flowers were applied to the sides of the lemon. And then I finished it off with a jute string with 2 brown beads that are hung on the opening at the top of the tag. On the opposite side, a different napkin with 1 sunflower is applied, and then I just folded some yellow organza ribbon over on itself and chucked it underneath the leaves of the sunflower. And I did 2 of them like that. And I love that it gives 2 different seasons on the same tag. Let me know if you would do a double-sided tag. DIY number 3, a pumpkin floral. The supplies needed include various succulents, a pumpkin with an open top, and some floral foam, and some moss. This is another easy DIY. I purchased this pumpkin from Michael's several years ago, and it already had an open top, and I purchased it on sale. Therefore, I don't remember cutting an opening at the top, but you can. I wanted it to be low, so if I set the table, I wouldn't have to remove it when guests came for dinner because it is low. I also wanted some to hang on the sides to give it some interest. So I started by placing the floral foam inside the moss, kind of a soft and spongy. I just hot glued that to the sides so that you could not see rough edges. I started by placing the succulents that hung over the side first, and then I used large and then medium and then the little small sizes of the succulent to fill in the sides, and finally the top. Now, I use different colors of succulent. Some were green, some were spiky, some were burgundy, some were a little orange. You don't want to use all of the same color because you want the eye to scan the perimeter of the pumpkin. And I think this makes a wonderful arrangement to wow your guests. So you have to let me know what you think. I got the pumpkin on sale at Michael's, so it was around $3, and got most of the succulents from Dollar Tree, so I would say maybe right on up to $5. And I think I had some of the other ones that were given to me, so I didn't have to pay anything for those. DIY number 4. A wooden dried floral bar. The supplies you need include a drill, a piece of narrow wood that's 6 inches long by 1 5/8 inch in width. You need some dried florals, some brown acrylic paint, and that's pretty much all that you need. And you can see by now I like simple, especially when I already have most of the supplies on hand. I had a piece of wood that was given to me that said something else on, I think welcome home or whatever. It was kind of folk art print on there. And so I gave it a little bit of sand. That's the other thing, but you don't have to sand it. But I did so that the paint would adhere a little bit better. It was longer than 6 inches, so I used my electric saw and just cut off the other part, which I will use later, maybe doing a little something different with that. I've got some ideas. I drilled 7 holes evenly spaced, but they were alternating. After that, I began arranging dried florals to put into the opening. So I used bunny tails, baby's breath, eucalyptus. I used just some twigs and some other florals. And I just kind of arranged them as my eye told me that would be a good look. And I think it turned out pretty good. Now, if I do this again, I will maybe put a little bit more interest in the wood, maybe put some painter's tape and do a stripe or something like that on it. But I think it speaks for itself, and I don't think you need a lot of things going on when you have all of the dried florals on it. Once it is completed, you can put it on a shelf and just enjoy its beauty, because you know what? It's going to be fall soon, y'all. And with this one, I would say the cost of it, the board was free. The paint, maybe I used 25 cents worth. The florals I already had, so I don't know, you could maybe put $1 on those since I just used a few. And so I would say it would be $1.50. So on to DIY number 5. This is a floral trinket tray. The supplies needed include plaster of Paris, half beads, white acrylic paint, and a mold. And then I used to make the marking is a Uni Posca black marker. This is wonderful. I just purchased them because you can draw pretty much on anything and not have to worry about it coming off. Now, I do not have much footage of this process, but I'll try to walk you through it. And that is because it was a fail and I tried to redeem the mess. But you mix plaster of Paris with cold water until you get a creamy consistency. I had that. Where I went wrong is I used a food coloring dye, and let me tell you, it does not work. I poured the mixture in a mold and I let it harden. When it was dry, I removed it from the mold. I had to make another one, but I wanted to show you the process, and I just left it white and used some Mod Podge over it. And then I took my marker to freehand a flower with leaves and a stem. And then I turned it over and glued 4 half beads to the bottom to kind of use it as a riser. You can display anywhere in your home and enjoy. And this one, I would say, with the plaster of Paris that I used, I would say it would be probably somewhere around $2, we'll say. It's kind of hard to determine when you use a cup of plaster of Paris. You use the water, you mix it up, and the little half beads, you get a whole bag full of them. So I would say somewhere in there. Well, that is all, Z9 Design family. Make sure you subscribe, like, save, and comment. And I want to sincerely thank you for your comments and support. Also, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And give me a thumbs up because it really helps my channel grow. And remember, love is like the wind. You can't see it, but you can feel it. This is by Nicholas Sparks. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.